Thank you very much, Dima, for this wonderful introduction, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I know I'm the last program keeping you from perhaps a wonderful dinner that you are planning to do afterwards. So I will try to be quick, but also precise and transparent in terms of what Europe can offer and has to offer, can offer in terms of research funding. I'm going to do a little bit of more personal note, I think, after my presentation, but let me dive into it for the sake of time. How many of you have heard of something called Horizon 2020? Okay. So not many of you, which is good. So it's a good place for me to be and introduce this program, which is the EU's largest program for research and innovation for the period of 7 years, starting in 2014 and ending in 2020. Our motto for our program is open to the world, and that means that although it is a European program, although it is a joint budget from the European countries that are within the European Union or the so-called associated countries, the partnerships are extended to the world. It means that Horizon 2020 is open to international collaboration, and anyone, any nationality, any background, any research field is open to collaborate with Europeans and is open to go to Europe and do the research. I wanted to point out a couple of facts about the EU for those of you that did not know or were not aware of. The EU consists of approximately 500 million people. It has 28 countries. Yes, it still does have 28, although we'll be short of one as of probably next March, and you know which one. But maybe we are going to gain a couple more, so, you know, who knows, we might be even getting bigger. It constitutes 6% of the world's population, 20% of world expenditure on research, 27% of world scientific publications, 32% of high impact publications, which is really large, and also 32% of patent applications. So just to give you an idea of how much the little continent of Europe, or the 28 European countries, are doing together. And now let me introduce you to Horizon 2020 as the largest program for research and innovation. And I'm saying largest because there used to be research and innovation programs before 2014 as well. The programs for research and innovation within the European Union started in back in the 60s. So we have them continuously for 4, 5, 6, or 7 year periods. For right now, for the one which is the 8th program since the 60s, called Horizon 2020, the budget is the largest that ever been, and it is approximately 80 billion euros for the period of 7 years, which is probably about 90 billion US dollars. I did not switch it into dollars because it has been fluctuating a lot in the past weeks and months, so you can do that if you have a conversion app. Horizon 2020 is focused, or it's built on 3 pillars. The first one is called excellent science, the second is industrial leadership, and the third is called societal challenges. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of all 3 panels. Before I do so, I want to again stress that this program is open to researchers and institutions alike, meaning universities, research institutions, nonprofits, SMEs, startups, companies. So the public and the private sector can tap into the different programs and the calls of proposals that Horizon 2020 offers. Also, it has been a very, very popular program across the world, and we try to make it even more popular by talking about that and by letting people know that they can participate in the different calls throughout the years. You can see on the slide that over 7,700 applications have been submitted in the past 4 years already from 152 countries across the world. Now, I would like to show a slide, a very basic one, but it's sometimes a very complicated program because it's not only for the period of 7 years and you have 80 billion euros flowing into research, innovation and technology, but there are different panels and different subgroups and different sub-themes. So it can be quite a complex program to look into. So I wanted to make it a little bit easier to grasp and to understand how you as a researcher, as an institution, as a student, can look into and tap into the funding offered by Horizon 2020. So there are two ways to make it simple. One of the ways is to receive funding for an individual researcher. So if you are planning to do a PhD, if you want to do a postdoc, if you want to be a research assistant, a research professor, if you want to open your own lab, so that would be something called individual funding. The second way of being connected and being part of Horizon 2020 is actually being part of something called collaborative projects. And with the collaborative projects, because it is a European program and European countries fund the different calls, you have to have a minimum of 3 European countries. So a minimum of 3 institutions from 3 different European countries to form the consortium. And the 4th one can be any country in the world. It can be a US, it can be Sudan, Egypt, it can be Canada, Japan, China, you name it. And you can go as far as 25 or 30 or 45 partners within a consortium. So there's no top limit. We only ask you to have those 3 European countries collaborating on a topic, on a project that you want to work on. So I would like to make sure that you keep these distinctions in mind and these 2 ways of tapping into Horizon 2020. And I would like to go just a little bit into details about both of these options. I'm going to start with the individual researchers, the individual funding opportunities, which are part of one of the 3 pillars that I mentioned that Horizon 2020 has, called Excellent Science. We have the European Research Council grants, we have Future and Emerging Technologies, we have something called Marie Sklodska-Curie Actions and the different fellowships for PhDs and postdocs, and we have the research infrastructures. Here, I would like to point out 2 very, very popular individual fellowships and grants that are open to all nationalities and all research fields. If you would like to apply to one of these fellowships and grants, we are not going to tell you what kind of topic we want you to focus on. You can pick any topic of your choice. If it's cultural heritage, if it's going to be any other field within arts, social sciences, humanities, life sciences, it's going to be completely up to you, because we have all the different panels that would at the end evaluate your project and will pick the best and the excellent ones to be funded. So it's a completely bottom-up approach. It's your idea, it's your project that matters. Of course, in many of these fellowships and grants, you would either have to relocate to Europe full-time, or then there are possibilities to relocate only for 50% of your time, and the other 50% you can go somewhere else or you can be somewhere else. So that will be definitely up to you. Let me show you a slide on the Marie Sklodska-Curie Actions. I know it's a little bit difficult to pronounce because her maiden name is Polish. I'm not going to do a course. I'm not going to ask you, don't worry. If you want to just shorten it, you can refer to it as MSCA. But I wanted to draw your attention to the very, very popular individual fellowships where you can apply for a postdoc or a sabbatical or any other position that you might be in. And those are the IFs, the individual fellowships, the second column that you can see. Those individual fellowships, you can apply between 1 and 2 years. And again, you can either go 100% to an institution of your choice in any of the European countries, or you can do 50% of your time and efforts on the project in Europe, and the other 50%, again, you decide where you would like to be. I wanted to show also some statistics, especially within the panels related to social sciences and humanities, so you have an idea where the cultural heritage, what we are talking about today, would fall into, and what is perhaps the success rate, or how many different projects and how many applications are being submitted to these panels. And because I said that the individual fellowships are very, very popular, and those are our, I would say, almost signature fellowships, I have a graph on those particularly. So here you can see that we have 8 different panels that evaluate the individual fellowships within the Marie Sklodowska-Curie actions, and the last one would be the Social Sciences and Humanities panel. And I myself was very surprised in a good way how many applications and how much the success rate has grown in the past couple of years. Here you can see the statistics from 2014 to 2017. I don't know if you can see the numbers. Those might be a little bit smaller to see. But in 2017, we had 293 applications that were successful, compared to, for example, 155 in engineering or 26 in mathematics. So the Social Sciences and Humanities panel is definitely a very popular one, and a lot of funding is going into that. Within the pie, the Social Sciences and Humanities panel has, if I see it right, 20, I think, percent, right? It's tiny. Yeah, I think, yeah, 20% of the overall budget of the individual fellowships goes to social sciences and humanities, which is wonderful. Now let me jump to another individual grant that is available to researchers a little bit more experienced, because here you have to have a PhD and a couple years of experience, but it's also available to any nationalities and any research fields. This is called the European Research Council grant. Here we have 5 grants in total, and just to give you an idea, these grants are for up to 5 years, so these are a little bit longer, but also the money is a little bit different. We are talking about between 1.7 million to almost 3 million US dollars that would be flowing into a 5-year grant. Again, it's a completely bottom-up approach. You can pick your topic, you can choose any of the research field that you would like to, and there will be a panel that will evaluate that. Talking about those panels, here is an example of, or here are the panels that your project, your idea can be evaluated by, and you can see that there is a specific social sciences and humanities panel which is divided into 6 subgroups, so you can be sure that any of your ideas will fit into one of those. Also, for the sake of the statistics, to give you an idea, in the past 10 years of the duration of the European Research Council grants, there was approximately 3 billion US dollars that went into the panel of social sciences and humanities. And there were 1,763 grants awarded within this panel, just to be very exact. Now, this was the individual fellowship part. Now I will switch into the collaborative project. I'm not going to talk too much about the industrial leadership because this is mainly about the enabling and industrial technologies, but I wanted to point out the 3rd pillar of Horizon 2020, which is called Societal Challenges. And again, it has 7 sub-themes. So as I mentioned at the beginning, all the different research fields and different ideas that you might have should be accommodated by one of these panels. So the cultural heritage would fall under inclusive, innovative, and reflective societies. And just to give you something also tangible, just to give you a couple of the examples, I went online last night and I tried it myself, the online platform that you can go and see what kind of different calls, what kind of different topics are available and are open for you to look for European partners and to collaborate with. So yesterday, when I put into the search engine the keyword cultural heritage, These were the 4 different calls that popped up that just opened in November this year, and they will either close in February or March 2019. It might be a little too tiny for you to read, but I'm sure that you get the presentation and you can have a look at what kind of different projects and topics the European Commission is looking into when it comes to collaborative projects. So as I said, remember, 2 different ways of participating. The individual fellowships are completely bottom up. That's your idea, your project. We are not going to intervene into that, but the collaborative projects, we will tell you what we want you to approximately do, at least to lead to the right direction. And my last slides are actually about Euraccess, about the project that with Dima actually we are working on here in North America. And I wanted to share a little bit about what we do here and also what kind of opportunities you can tap into through Euraccess. So Euraccess is a European Commission's funded project. It means access to Europe. We have all the European countries that are part of the network, and we have 6 non-European countries as well that are around the world, one of them being North America, the US and Canada, and it's Dima and myself based in DC. What you can do, or what are the services that we offer? The first very important one, we have a jobs and funding database on our website, euraccess.org. So if you go on that website and click on the jobs and funding, every day we have between 8,000 to 10,000 job vacancies available in different European countries and in different research fields. That's why the number of those openings is so large. I'm not going to go into the other parts of the website, but I will be more than happy to talk to you perhaps after, or I can give you my card and you can contact me. The last thing I wanted to show you is that actually it works. So this is how the website looks like. If you go on the Euraccess jobs portal, so you click on jobs and funding. Again, what I did, I searched by keyword cultural heritage and I got 46 results. So from that, I wanted to also give you a screenshot of 3 different jobs or funding positions that are currently open that recognize the keyword of cultural heritage. And one of them is based in the Netherlands, in Romania, in Italy. They are for PhDs, for postdocs, for research assistants, so you can go and observe yourself. With that, I will leave you and to observe and to look into all the links that I just presented. And I would like to thank you for your attention. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this wonderful initiative. I tend to be very sensitive when it comes to Dima's work and Nubia. I have not heard of that before meeting her, and I'm so thankful for being here, for her teaching me about this wonderful culture. And I can assure you that me as a European, I will definitely preserve as much as I can. And this is the best souvenir with my name in Nubian, because I've never seen that before. And the first thing when I looked at it, I'm like, oh, it looks a little bit like Greek. So, and then she explained there is a Greek something behind it. So I'm so excited about this project, and I want to just congratulate her, the Nubia Initiative, and all of you for being here and for making today possible. Thank you.